Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. You know, it's so much more than just another shooter set in a wasteland. Hiding just beneath that gritty, unbelievably realistic surface is this incredibly deep, almost philosophical story. It's all about consciousness, big clashing ideas, and, well, the nature of reality itself. So let's gear up and head straight into the heart of the zone, because you're going to want to see what's really going on in there.
Okay, so we all know about 1986, right? The Chernobyl nuclear disaster. It created this huge, real-world dead zone. But here's the thing. In the Stalker universe, that was just the warm-up act. The real story, the one that gives birth to this bizarre, terrifying, and kind of wondrous place we all know as the Zone, that all kicks off 20 years later.
So, yeah, Chernobyl's second secret disaster. This is the point where history takes a sharp left turn, and the Zone as we know it really begins. So how do you get from a real-world tragedy to this sci-fi anomaly? Well, it all started with a top-secret experiment that, you guessed it, went horribly, horribly wrong.
So check this out. You've got two key dates. 1986, that just put up the fences. It created the exclusion zone we know from the history books. But 2006, that is the game changer, the second disaster. This event didn't just poison the ground, it completely shattered the laws of physics inside the zone. It turned the whole place into something, well, something alive.
And the big idea behind all this craziness? It's something called the noosphere. And honestly, this is where it gets really, really cool. Imagine a kind of psychic internet, okay? A field made up of every single human thought, every emotion, every dream and desire, all bundled together into our collective consciousness. Well, some ambitious Soviet scientists hidden away in secret labs right there in Chernobyl thought, hey, what if we could tap into that? They figured they could just dial down all the negative emotions, anger, hatred, and basically force world peace.
Spoiler alert, it didn't work. Not even close. They didn't control the noosphere. They cracked it wide open. And all that psychic fallout, all that raw human consciousness, just rained down and soaked into the land around Chornobyl. That's what the Zone is. It's a place where a collective subconscious literally bleeds into the real world. Think about it. Those deadly anomalies, that's our collective fear, made physical. And those priceless artifacts everyone's hunting for, that's our hope, given form.
All right, so that's the world. It's a complete mess. So how do we get in? We step into the boots of a man known only as Skiff. And here's the thing about him. He is not some grand hero on a mission to save the world. Nope. For him, this whole thing is deeply, deeply personal.
What's really interesting here is that this story doesn't even start in the Zone. We're in Kyiv. Skiff is just a regular guy, until one day an anomaly, one of those physics-bending nightmares, actually escapes the Zone's borders and just vaporizes his home. And that tells you something absolutely crucial right from the start. The Zone isn't contained anymore, it's spreading.
And that's it. That is his entire motivation. It's not about getting rich, it's not about discovering cosmic secrets. It's a grounded, totally human quest to reclaim what was stolen from him. This simple, powerful desire is what forces him to venture into what has to be the most dangerous place on Earth.
But of course, you can't just go for a casual stroll in the Zone. A personal mission like Skiff's, well, it's not going to stay personal for very long. His journey gets tangled up in this massive conflict, this ideological war, really. Because the Zone is this new frontier, and you've got these powerful factions fighting to decide what its future, and maybe all of humanity's, is going to look like.
And yeah, Skiff ends up right in the thick of it. You've got your main players here. On one side, the Ward. Think military, order, control. They want to tame the Zone and exploit its resources. Then you have S.T.A.L.K.E.R, a faction of idealists who believe it can be perfected into utopia. But, as we're about to see, there's a serious wild card in play too.
So, these are the two dominant powers Skiff finds himself caught between. The Ward represents cold, hard military discipline. They see the Zone as a resource to be controlled and exploited. On the total opposite side is S.T.A.L.K.E.R, led by the legendary stalker S.T.A.L.K.E.R. They have a utopian dream. They want to transform the Zone into a beautiful, peaceful paradise for everyone.
And then there's S.T.A.L.K.E.R. If you've played the original games, you know this name. He's a legend. But he's a changed man. After everything he's seen, he no longer believes the Zone is the primary threat. He believes humanity is. So his solution is radical. Seal the Zone behind an impenetrable barrier forever. He's not trying to control it or perfect it. He's trying to quarantine it from us. And this brings us to the climax. Skiff's journey, who he aligns with, the choices he makes. It all leads to a single defining moment at the very heart of the zone, where he alone will decide the fate of, well, everything.
We're not just talking about a good or bad ending here. No way. The choice Skiff makes is going to literally rewrite the rules of reality, not just for the zone, but potentially for the entire planet. The stakes could not possibly be higher.
So, what are the 4 possible futures? Well, siding with the Ward means the zone becomes a sterile power plant, its mystery totally extinguished. Siding with S.T.A.L.K.E.R creates a beautiful, happy illusion where everyone is essentially a zombie living in a blissful dream. Following S.T.A.L.K.E.R's path locks the problem away, but it doesn't solve it. And then there's the 4th option: let it all go, unleash it.
And this, for me, really boils down to a profound philosophical choice between 2 extreme paths. Would you choose a beautiful lie, a perfect, peaceful utopia that's secretly a psychic prison leading to a slow, gentle death, or a terrible truth, unleashing the zone's chaotic, violent, but ultimately authentic reality upon the entire world, a comfortable lie or a painful truth?
And so, everything comes back to this one question. The zone was born from our collective mind. It's a mirror of our greatest hopes and our deepest fears. If you choose to unleash it, to make its reality our own, are you embracing a new stage of evolution, or are you just succumbing to your own inner chaos? That is the question at the very heart of Chernobyl as.